You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome to Cabral Concept. I'm Stephen Cabral, and today on a Motivation and Mindset Monday, we're going to go over how you can live happily with no regrets. And obviously, that's a pretty tall order to talk about today, but I think I'm pretty uniquely qualified to speak about this. And I actually think that everyone can, once you hear today's podcast or video, really take this and apply it to your own life. And here's why. For such a long time, I was living unhappily with many regrets. And the reason is simple. I didn't feel like I was where I should have been in life at that particular time. When I was younger, 17, 18, through college really, I wasn't at my peak health. And so not being at my peak health, I felt like I couldn't exercise, I couldn't play sports, I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do at the level I wanted to do them. So of course, I was unhappy. I wasn't happy being sick all the time. I wasn't happy with having sinus infections every 2 weeks, with feeling weak, with not being able to climb a flight of stairs, with heart palpitations, with joint pain, all of these specific things. I was not happy about that. And it affected the rest of my life. It affected my mood, it affected relationships, all these specific types of things. The other part is that when I was not happy in my life, I had a lot of regrets on what I couldn't do or felt I should have been doing. And once you feel like you put these, thoughts in your mind like you should be doing this, something other than you are right now, you're always going to have this type of pressure or stress in your life. So what I'd like to talk to you today about is how you can set those goals for yourself in a very appropriate manner so that you don't have the anxiety, you don't have the overwhelm, but you can still accomplish a lot of what you do want in your own life. So what I would say is this. When we set goals for ourselves, a lot of times we actually don't go after them because they're either fear-based, and the fear comes from a fear of failure. Yes, you feel like you might not actually achieve your goal and you don't want to be embarrassed by it, or it's better just thinking that one day you might achieve it than actually going after it, or it could actually be success-based. The success-based meaning like, well, what happens if you achieve the job or financial success or the health or the weight loss? What would your family think of you? What would your friends think of you? Would you lose the family? Would you lose your friends because you've kind of taken your own life to the next level? And a lot of people worry about those specific things. I'm not going to tackle that topic today, but it's something for you to think about. Because you need to get deep into why you might not be where you want to be in your life right now. And even more importantly, those things that you think that you should be doing, should you actually be doing them? Like, are they important to you? So what I'm saying to you today is this. I would like you to actually write down, as you're choosing goals, anything in your life that you would like to accomplish that you would regret not doing, all right? So whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever it might be, is what would you like to do right now in your life or think about doing that if you didn't accomplish that, you would feel like you didn't maximize your life, you didn't get enough out of it. And write down, just don't limit yourself. Write down everything of what it could be, whether you want to, get in the best shape of your life, run a triathlon, to do a marathon, even if those things are just kind of a one-time thing to put on the bucket list. But here's the next part. Whatever those things are, whether it be business, friends, family, relationship, body transformation, wellness, any of those things, look at that specifically. But to say, are they going to be something that you really care about doing through the rest of your life? So is it a one-time thing that's kind of like a cool thing you could say you did? Or is this something that you would truly regret not doing? Like, if you never ran a marathon in your life, is that important to you? Think about that. Like, is it worth the training? Same with the triathlon. But now it's something like, well, what if you wanted to be a best-selling author? Is that something that's important to you? And if so, do we need to set a deadline on that? That's my next topic here. Is that so many times, and I've found this out for myself, is that I've wanted to set certain goals for myself. But I was putting these arbitrary deadlines on them that was leading to just greater stress in my own life. Meaning if I didn't accomplish X by this certain date, I'll feel like I failed. Like I didn't accomplish what I needed to accomplish. That created so much stress in my own life, so much anxiety, so much, really just discord with where I was at now in my life, and not being able to be as grateful as I should have been for what I was able to accomplish. So that type of thinking, luckily, I read enough books, I learned about these things many years ago to be able to apply them to my own life, to start to work on this, because it is a gradual process. So maybe when I was 17, 18 years old, I started out as a personal trainer. And then I said, you know what, I love this. I love how I can impact clients. Got through college and I said, do I want to go to medical school? That was kind of my thought. Or do I want to go to, I applied and got in right out of school to Tufts University to become a dietitian, registered dietitian. Decided that, no, I'm not positive that's what I want to do. So then I said, I'm going to take a little time off. I know I'm impacting people. Just got a certification in nutrition as a nutritional specialist. Maybe I can use my personal training and nutrition to impact clients' lives at 22 years old. That was fantastic. And then I said, I want to take this to the next level. So I just kept getting certifications, became a strength and conditioning specialist, worked with professional athletes, worked with Olympic athletes, just kept going with that. And in the back of my mind, though, this goal was always need to get more into wellness, meaning you're always reading about it. You're working with your private clients, you need to take this to the next level, and it just wouldn't go away. It was kind of that little thought in the back of my mind. Those are what's very important for you to watch for. What won't go away? In 6 months from now, is that thought still with you? A year from now, is it still with you? Well, mine stayed with me through my 20s, and I said, okay, it's time. This was a lifelong dream of mine. I just never thought I could do it. One is when I got out of school, I didn't have the financial resources to even go back to school. And the other part is, I just didn't know if that's what I really wanted. And I gave myself some time to decide if I wanted to make that next leap, because it was a big leap. I had to go back to school for years to get my naturopathic doctoral degree. So when the time was right, I thought about it and I made the leap. And what I discovered was this: I'm glad I waited. And I think no matter what goals you have set for yourself, it's okay that you've waited until now to start to go after them, because you have more life experience. That life experience allowed me to be a better student as well. I was a much better student when I went back to school, because I understood what was important, the most important things, and I knew what to look for and how to actually be able to then customize my own education, meaning my internships. I studied overseas. I knew exactly what I wanted to study. I knew exactly that I wanted to put all of these different types of medicine to the test to see if they actually did work all across the world and live in those hospitals. I wanted to actually live with the patients to truly see if they were getting the results they wanted. And that led me, of course, to the practice I have today. I have no regrets about that. And now I try to apply that to my own life. Okay, I have many more goals that I want to achieve in my life. But right now, I'm just trying not to put a lot of deadlines on them. I'm doing this, and I really want you to use the same practice in your own life. If the goal is important to you, set it as a goal. I just try to have maybe 5 goals or so that I do want to accomplish that are really important to me. And then I don't set a deadline, but I work towards them. Let's say I would like to publish another book or something like that. Okay, well, what am I going to do? Well, maybe I can start to write a chapter per month, and then at the end of 12 months, I have a nice 12-chapter book of 20 pages each, and maybe that's a full book. You could do the same particular types of things. No deadlines, but start to take your big goal and chunk it down to small individual goals. If the goal is 60 pounds weight loss, that seems like a big goal to accomplish. But what if you just accomplished 5 pounds of weight loss, just 1.25 pounds per week, over a year period of time? You'd be down 60 pounds in 1 year. Now, maybe you want to accomplish it in 3 months. That's great. But you still have to start moving in that direction either way. Why not just say, well, I can give myself a year if I'd like to. I just start to need to move in that right direction. The same goes for business. The same goes for health. The same goes for wellness, for weight loss, whatever it might be. If you're struggling with Hashimoto's thyroiditis right now, why not start to do the detoxification, start to do the immune balancing, start to do all of those protocols that are going to get your life back where it needs to be. So here's the thing. Whatever your goals are, if they're truly important to you, let them marinate. Let them just kind of fester there for a few months. If they still stay with you in that journal, then it's something to start putting on your list. Okay, these are things I'd be happy working on, and I'm not going to put a deadline on it, but I'm going to make sure that I'm moving towards it strategically to reach those specific goals. So I do hope that that helps you today, just because I work with so many people who put so much pressure on themselves, and what happens is they put so much pressure that they just don't do anything at all. So why not take the foot off the gas and the brake, because they're going simultaneously for a second, ease back, take just a couple weeks to write down your goals, cross off the ones that are just kind of be cool to do, and some of the things that, you know what, if you didn't do it, you'd regret not doing in your life. And then the nice thing is, be happy, be grateful for where you're at right now, knowing that as you move through your life, you're going to accomplish all the things that you've set out for yourself. Thank you for joining me today on the Cabral Concept.
Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well, finally, is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests, or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.